How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing my second first round mock draft. The NFL Combine ended yesterday as I'm recording this, so there were some risers and fallers from that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Again, I'm going to stick with no trades just because trades can be hard to predict. I can probably do it. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at predicting trades or anything, but there are some trades that I feel like are more predictable than others, but I'm just going to stick with no trades. So I'm going to go again here with Caleb Williams at 1. Um, he didn't participate in the combine, so can't really say his stock got higher or lower. So he's going to stay at number 1. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. I'm also going to stick with Drake May at 2. Um, Once again, I just feel like the top of the order is going to stay the same. So I will go with Jaden Daniels at 3 as well. If I can find him. There we go. And then 4, I'm going to stick with Marvin Harrison. And 5 is where I will switch up my draft board a little bit. So I think the top 4 are pretty much solidified unless one of those teams ends up trading out of their pick. But at 5, I believe I took Joe Alt last time. And while I think that's certainly still a possibility, I'm going to go with Rome Odunze. He had a pretty good combine. I believe he ran a 4.45 40-yard dash. I personally have him slightly ahead of Malik Neighbors. I think it's a toss-up between those two. I'm going to put Malik Neighbors there at 6 to the Giants. But yeah, I think it's a toss-up between them. So it really comes down to who you prefer. I prefer Dunze. I don't believe Neighbors participated in the combine, so whether that hurts or helps him remains to be seen. 7, I believe I took Brock Bowers last time. I did that mainly because he said he would like to play for the Titans. I don't know how realistic that is, but I'm going to go with Joe Alt this time. Tackle is definitely a huge need for them. Brock Bowers would be nice, but I think, if anything, one of those wide receivers is more likely. But with them off the board, I think that Joe Alt is probably the most likely and probably their best pick there. Then at 8 to the Falcons, this could be a quarterback spot. J.J. McCarthy is reportedly potentially a top 10 pick now. In my opinion, that's a little bit of a stretch. That's what's being reported. I don't think that's going to happen, but this would be a spot where I could see that happening. I personally do not see him going in the top 10, like I mentioned, so I'm going to go with Dallas Turner to the Falcons. I think that would be a very good fit for Dallas Turner and help out that young Falcons team. So then here at number 9, I took Caleb Williams 1, obviously. As much as I would like a wide receiver here, there are not any top wide receivers available. It would be nice to pair DJ Moore with a young wide receiver. I believe I had Neighbors falling to 9 in my first mock draft. That's not going to happen this time, though. I'm going to go with Terrion Arnold out of Bama. He had a very good combine. I believe he's undoubtedly the best corner in this draft. I think Nate Wiggins is number 2. Wiggins did get hurt at the combine. I believe it was a groin injury or something like that. He hurt himself while running a sub 4.3 40-yard dash, so it's pretty incredible. But I believe he should be good to go for his pro day, but that might hurt his stock. I don't know how much it will hurt his stock just because it doesn't sound like he'll be out for too long. So now to number 10, the Jets. I believe this could be a spot for Brock Bowers. It'd be certainly interesting to pair with that offense, but I think tackle is just way too big of a need. And they're reportedly interested in Tyrese Fuaga. I think he is pushing for that number 2 spot. Obviously, Olu Fushano's probably number 2. He also did get hurt at the combine, so we'll see if that hurts his stock. I'm not sure how long he will be out. So I have Fuaga going to 10 there to the Jets. Number 11, again, is another spot for a quarterback, which I think J.J. McCarthy at this point is probably going to be QB4. I could take him here, but I'm not going to. This is a spot where I think I'm going to take Nate Wiggins. I like Nate Wiggins. It's just a matter of how far he falls due to that injury. It shouldn't be too far, like I mentioned, but I will have him going to Minnesota there. Their secondary is not great, so he would be a big help to that secondary. And then I did take J.J. McCarthy at 12 here last time, and I think it's even more likely now. So I'm going to do it again. Russell Wilson just got cut prior to me recording this video, so they're officially done with him as expected. But I think J.J. McCarthy would be a pretty good fit in Sean Payton's offense, so I do have him going there at 12. And at 13 with the Raiders, I'm going to take Byron Murphy. Um, they have a lot of holes on their defense, but under Antonio Pierce, their defense played better, and I think Byron Murphy would be a very good fit for the Raiders with Antonio Pierce. Then at 14, I believe this is a tackle spot. I don't think they'll take a quarterback, and with Olu Fashanu falling to 14, I think that would be a steal for the Saints. Um, he may or may not. I mean, obviously, he probably will be a day one starter, but in with the Saints, it's they have a lot of aging guys, some injury prone players like Ryan Ramczyk. So I think Olu Fashanu would be a very good player there. If they don't want him to be just sit on the bench for a year, maybe it depends. I don't think Olu Fashanu would be a backup his rookie season, but on the Saints, it's really undetermined. So, I mean, if you wanted to go with more of a developmental guy, I mean, J.C. Latham, not that he is a developmental guy, but I think if they would rather go with, I guess, like a lower tier tackle, I guess J.C. Latham would be that guy, maybe Amarius Mims, but it's another guy with injury issues. So, I do think J.C. Latham has improved his stock over the last couple weeks, so I'm not saying that he's a developmental guy or he's not a good tackle. This is a very deep tackle class, so I guess I just maybe I misworded that a little bit. But I'm going to take Brock Bowers here at 15 to the Colts. I think this is a perfect fit for him. Um, they got Jelani Woods. They have Mo Alley Cox. Their tight end room is kind of underwhelming. Um, Getting Anthony Richardson a weapon like Brock Bowers would be pretty nice, especially if they can hold on to Michael Pittman in free agency. They have Alec Pierce and Josh Downs as well. Uh, they're forming a very good young offense, so adding Brock Bowers to that would be great. Um, Obviously, you have Jonathan Taylor still, so it's a very good up and coming offense, and I think Brock Bowers would be a perfect fit there. Then to Seattle, I think O line has to be the pick here, so I'm going to take Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon. I just think that interior offensive line is their biggest need, so I think that makes the most sense there. Last time I had Quinion Mitchell falling to 25, mainly because I'm a biased Packers fan, but I love Quinion Mitchell. He's my favorite corner in the class, but I do think he will be a top 20 pick. So I think Jacksonville makes a lot of sense for him, and he would be a good fit um, at corner for them. They already have Tyson Campbell. He's a good young player, and I think Quinion Mitchell would be a very good fit to pair with him. Then to 18, the Bengals. I think offensive tackle has to be the pick here. I'm taking J.C. Latham. Um, J.C. Latham is very good. So whatever I said before, whatever you took out of that, I did not mean that he's not good or not going to be good. He's going to be good, and I think he would be a perfect fit for that Bengals offensive line, which has struggled to keep Joe Burrow healthy. So I think they need to go offensive line, and J.C. Latham is the best available tackle in my opinion. So I think he has to be the pick with who's available. Then to the Rams at 19. I like Jerzon Newton. Um, they kind of need to beef up that D line around Aaron Donald. They did get Kobe Turner, but I think there's still some holes there. Jerzon Newton, I believe, would be a very good fit there. You have Aaron Donald coming off the edge, Jerzon Newton and Kobe Turner up the middle. I think that would be a very good fit for the Rams. Then to 20 with the Steelers, I have Cooper DeJean. Um, he's a do-it-all guy. Um, I've seen a lot of mock drafts where he falls to the Packers at 25. As a Packers fan, I'd like that, but I don't see it happening. Um, the Steelers could use some DB help around Joey Porter Jr. and Minka. Um, Cooper DeJean could play safety or corner, so it's really all depends on what the team wants to do with him. I think he'd be good either way, so I think he'd be a good fit for the Steelers. Um, and now with the Dolphins at 21, again, I think O line has to be the pick here. Um, I think Troy Futano maybe. Um, or Graham Barton. I think interior is probably a bigger need at this point, especially if Robert Hunt leaves in free agency. Um, Honestly, you could go either way with this one, in my opinion. I think I'm going to take Graham Barton just because Robert Hunt is a free agent and they haven't re signed him yet. So he is going to be the Robert Hunt replacement. They could go Troy Futano as well, but I think that Graham Barton should be the pick here if they do lose Robert Hunt. So then to the Eagles at 22, I think they should go wide receiver, and I have them taking Brian Thomas Jr. I believe I did it last time, and I'm going to do it again. I think it makes a lot of sense. He's your deep ball guy. You got AJ Brown is your physical guy. Um, so they do have Devontae Smith, but more of a slot guy. So throw it up to Brian Thomas on the edge. He's got you covered down the sideline. So to the Texans at 23, I think this is another spot for a wide receiver. They got Tank Dell. They got Nico Collins. Um, but I think Adonai Mitchell is who I'm going to take here. I believe I didn't even have him in the first round last time. I think you could see him either go in the end of the first round or beginning of the second round. Um, he's a very solid wide receiver. I think he would be a good fit to pair with those other two guys, give CJ Stroud some more weapons. So, honestly, he could have gone to 24, the Cowboys as well, but I think the Cowboys should probably go offensive line with Tyron Smith being a free agent. So I'm going to take Amarius Mims. Um, I think wide receiver could be a need there. Michael Gallup might get cut. He might be a free agent. I'm not sure, but I think there's a very solid chance that Michael Gallup is not on the team next year. So wide receiver could certainly be in play for the Cowboys, but with Adonai Mitchell going to pick before, I'm going offensive line. And then now to my Packers at 25. I think corner still should be the pick. Corner isn't a huge need. It's more just DB in general, specifically safety. But I'm hoping that safety is addressed in free agency. And I think Eric Stokes is kind of, I don't know if washed is the right word because he's still very young. He's just disappointing, I guess. And Keyshawn Nixon is not, he's not your CB2. He shouldn't be your slot corner. Keyshawn Nixon is a returner. So if he does get re signed, hopefully he sees less time at corner. He played solid, slightly below average, I guess, at slot corner. So I think maybe you have Eric Stokes play slot corner or Jair play slot corner with McKinstry and Stokes on the outside. Carrington Valentine also played very well, but I like Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think he'd be a good fit on that Packers defense. Then to 26, I think this is Jared Verse staying in state. They have a lot of needs defensively. I think a guy like Jared Verse would certainly help out that defensive line to get some pressure. Vita Vea is good. They cut Shaq Barrett a couple days ago. You got to get some pressure off the edge, so I think Jared Verse would help that a lot. Then to the Cardinals at 27, I have Troy Futano going here. Like I said, he could have been picked to the Dolphins a couple picks earlier. But I think who knows what happens with DJ Humphries. He's solid, but he's getting up there in age. You got Paris Johnson on one side of the O line. Why not get another solid tackle, then you got your tackles for the future set up. Um, Maybe DJ Humphries is a trade candidate or cut candidate. So I think Troy Fautanu is the pick here. I was looking at more um, interior offensive line, but I didn't like any of the guys available. So I decided to go with Troy Fautanu there. Now to the Bills. Wide receiver is, in my opinion, their biggest need. Gabe Davis is likely gone. You still got Stephon Diggs, and you got your tight ends. Outside of them, I mean, you got Shakir, I guess, but I think I took Lad McConkey last time. Maybe it was Troy Franklin, but this time I'm going with the new record holder with fastest 40 time at the NFL Combine history. Um, Now, in my opinion, do I think that the 40 times should boost you all the way up until the first round? Maybe, maybe not. Um, I think that speed is certainly important, but if you're not a very good route runner, um, I don't think it matters a whole lot. I'm not saying Xavier Worley's a bad route runner, but I think that maybe I'm only taking him in the first round just based off of what I've heard. A lot of analysts have been saying that he could end up in the first round now. So I think he would also be a good fit just based off of build. Um, he is your deep threat guy. You got Stephon Diggs as your go-to. You got Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. You got your deep threat guy now is Xavier Worthy. I think he's basically your Gabe Davis replacement, maybe a little bit shorter, but I think it's a good fit. Could it be a little bit of a reach? Maybe, but that remains to be seen. So then to the Lions at 29, I'm going to go with Ennis Rakestraw Jr., another guy that I like. Could certainly see him maybe going to the Ravens or Niners as well if he does not go to the Lions, but I'm going to take him there. The Lions DBs were not great. They could use a guy like him, and I think he would be a perfect fit. Um, Leatu Latu still being available feels weird. I think maybe this would be a good time for him to go to the Ravens here. They could certainly go wide receiver. Um, Maybe like Keon Coleman, Lad McConkey, but I think Leatu Latu should be a first round pick and will be a first round pick. Um, Obviously, the Ravens have Justin Madubuike entering free agency. He's more of an interior guy, but I think bringing in a guy like Latu would still be big. So that's where I'm going to go. But I think obviously wide receiver is still maybe just as important for them, with OBJ likely leaving in free agency. So then to the Niners at 31. I like a tackle here, and I'm going to take Tyler Guyton. This could be a spot for a wide receiver as well. If Brandon Ayuk does get traded, there's been some drama going on there. So this would also be a spot, like I mentioned, for Rakestraw. So corner, O-line, maybe wide receiver. But I'm going to take Guyton there. Then with the last pick, I think it's going to be a wide receiver. And now I'm split between Lad McConkey and Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is an athletic freak. He did not run super well at the combine. I believe it was like a 4.6-ish. I'm not sure if Lad McConkey participated in the combine or not. I did not see that. But I think that Keon Coleman has the higher upside, in my opinion, so I'm going to take him. He would be a good fit to pair with Rashee Rice. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, is your guy at QB. So I think wide receiver has to be the pick. They cut MVS. Yeah. Keon Coleman's the pick at 32. And so here is my second mock draft following the NFL Combine. Alright, well that's all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed, share the video with your friends, drop a like down below, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will be making some more NFL offseason content soon, as well as some Brewers content as the MLB season gets kicked off. So if you like that stuff, subscribe, and until next time, go Pack Go.